Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, May the 29th. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We are looking at Edgeful. This morning, we're looking by weekdays in terms of gaps down or up. We have a little bit of a gap down. Wow, over the last 3 months, 80% of the gaps down have been filled on a Wednesday. That's a pretty good one. So I would say wait for the deep dip and then take the bounce. Let's see what that is for the Qs. That is a very interesting statistic right there. Not as much, but still pretty good. Gaps down, 60% filled. I say we buy the dip and watch for the formation. I'm keen on seeing what it is for the futures. 67% for the ES, for the gap fill. And let's see what it is for the NQ. 60, and then finally the YM. What? Okay. All right. Well, looks like we got a trade there from the deep dips of the YM. Let's head over to the chart. That's pretty good. We just saw Andre from Edgeful pass his top step combine with 8 trades using information from Edgeful. And we love that. That is absolutely fantastic. Let's start with SPY. Here is the dip event here. This is a 2-hour chart. So we'll want to see if we just press down a little harder. What do we have? Richmond Fed at 10 o'clock. Business uncertainty, 11 o'clock, whatever that means. And then, a couple of Fed speakers. So we could stall out here because tomorrow we've got GDP, jobless claims, international trade, wholesale inventories, pending home sales. We got a ton of stuff coming in tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. EIA petroleum report, obviously going to be on Thursday because we have Monday off, but this is what we're staring down today. Let's go back to the daily. It just gives me a better range. Here we are in a gap down. Wait for the dip into this area and then buying it. The stats look pretty good to me. So we're going to watch for this alarm to go and see if we get lucky. Yeah. Also, selling the bounce. Why? Momentum is up, but we are not making new highs. We're inside of this candle, which is the second highest volume in near term. This is the highest volume in near term. And so the fade could come all the way into here, right? So I'm looking for a nice fade to take the bounce, with the nice fade being at around 521. Taking a look at the Qs, same sort of thing, gap down. Where are we? Did this trigger yesterday? I didn't even see that. Maybe pre-market or something, aftermarket or something. I don't know. But here we are in a gap down. Made a new high yesterday, closed higher even, and now we're gapping down. So could this be an exhaustion event? Well, I don't know. The volume is still showing that we're inside of this candle. So as long as we're inside of this high volume candlestick, there is no price resolution for us to stare down. We can simply go, all right, let me look at trend. What is trend? Buy the dip. See how far we are away from these moving averages or this moving average. We got to be careful about that, right? Momentum is still up, so we can see the dip buying there. Where's the first dip buy likely? 456. If it does not hold, meaning if you lose 456 and it doesn't immediately recapture, we're probably going to go to 452. So my suspicion is in this environment, bounces are sell zones, as long as we stay inside of this formation. So the bounce into 459 should give us a short, and the fade, first pass fade into 456 should give us a long, but if we cannot get back up over 457, say goodnight to that particular trade because we're going to head down to the bottom of this candlestick right here. And the bottom of this candlestick takes us to the next highest volume candle in the near term. That's this one. So far, we've held the 50% range of that candle, but it could also be a trajectory event downward. I'm not sure what's happening across the pond, saber rattling and such between China and the Middle East, but it is what it is. We'll take it as it goes. So here we go. What do we have? A test up into 53.40, just as expected. Failure to close there. Gave us the fade. Now we're coming into 52.80 to 52.71. let me see if I can put an alert here. Yeah. Come on, we don't want that level of sensitivity. Okay, great. All right, so we see it's a little sensitive. If it's just a little bit above that zone, then that'll be fine. And that number I'm talking about is 5271, 5284 just above it. 5307 will take us to 5324. And then 5324, if it holds, sends us back to 5330 and 5340. But my suspicion, which has been proving very nicely, is that we crunch sideways, do a little mean reversion, fade a little bit here and there, and we'll see how it goes. What we did read, what I read from Investors Business Daily, is that the broad upward motion is beginning to fade. There are quite a few stocks breaking off of the trend and range. And so, that means that we have more instability here in terms of the broad market. Still very bifurcated. If we take a look at the Qs, what are we trying to hold right now? The low of yesterday. Okay, the low of yesterday, 18,008, I don't know, 20, something like that. They're trying to fight through it, right? They are trying to bounce here. So here's the thing. If you buy along right here in the midst of this, you do not need to break that pre-market low, right? You don't. My thought would be pump the brakes. I know they're trying to hold the level, but there is weakness suggesting that we could come back into either 758 or 685, right? We're in the midst of this candlestick. See the high volume? We're in the midst of that candlestick. The range formation says, hey, listen, we could go to the 50% marker easily. My suspicion is mean reversion, and so the bounces are going to be sell zones. Here's what I would love. I would love for it to come into 930, 940, and I could take a short, right? I would love to do that. If that happens, then I'm going to watch how it goes and moves down. If I'm wrong, the high of yesterday, which is 18,980, 50, that's going to be my stop. And I'm going to watch it fade into 758, 865, and potentially 627, maybe by tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. But those are the numbers I'm looking for there in the Qs. The YM has the biggest probability of holding a gap. Whoa. Wow. Take a look at that. That's been easy money, and I just have not traded it. Oh, I hate when I do stuff like that. Okay, so here we are. We broke through this line. I'm going to move it out of the way. I'm going to move another one. Maybe down here. Somewhere around here. Okay, so here we are. Coming up into this way. 38,590. That's old resistance, new support. Notice this edge right here. That's why I'm picking it. But it's sitting right here at prior resistance at 727. 38,727. Are buyers going to try and do that? For sure. But take a look at this. This highest volume of the near-term candlestick formations, the highest volume of the near term. Look at what happened. All the traders that took long formations in here, they are upside down. And they are hoping for some kind of buy point somewhere around this zone. If not, if we can't hold 591, we're going to fall into 38,386. At which point it will put us in the body of this candlestick, which is the next highest volume candle, with a high of 38,635. You know what? Sally's going to put an alert there because my suspicion is that's where we're headed, right? See if we can fade all the way in here and then bounce. Let's take a look at a weekly formation just for grins. Yeah, we're close to a bounce zone here. Pardon me, allergies kill me. Right here in the summer time. So I suspect this, just watch for the press down and then, watch it stabilize maybe on a 3-minute candlestick formation and then choose the buy. I think this is the hot trade of the day, in my humble opinion. especially since this is the candlestick that had the big volume. They're going to try and hold the low there. So 635. I want to make an alert here also on the weekly formation, see what it tells me, and we'll watch that alert. Okay, quickly, I'll look at oil. I don't know if these guys are rolling already. Nope, not yet. Look at that, 830. This was the last place that I said, you know, we should have ourselves a resistance formation sitting up right here. We do have a little bit of unsettling things. If we are in this contract, if this is the actual forward contract, which I suspect it is, we're looking at resistance again, right up into the 80s and the rejection zone. So I'd be looking for a short there. I really would. Why? I don't know. It is sort of looking like a megaphone. So maybe you wait for it to get into 80.60 and then start losing it. Let's see. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll watch for it to come into that 80 and see if we can have ourselves a nice short, right? If you're trading this contract, the front one that TrendSpider has, we'll do the same sort of thing. It's still around 80. Now let's finally take a look at gold. See where gold is. Ooh, we are in the front month. Oh, look. Yeah, very sideways, but buying zones around 23.40, right? Let's tweak that back a little. We've got ourselves some pretty nice price action in the futures today. That's it for me, folks. Remember, I am so happy to be back with my Zoom. No screaming babies and barking dogs. Well, maybe a couple of barking dogs next week because I'm back down with my mom in hospice. And but this week, I am happy as a clam in my office, folks. So I will see you all on the Zoom midday for the Benzinga Pro platform update. And we'll be looking at a lot of trades there. We took off our NVIDIA trade. It doubled our formations, and we'll be looking to put another one on. We could have a little bit of a pullback coming in NVIDIA, so we're going to be a little crafty there. All right? Hey, take care, and I'll see you on the platforms.